Hi, my name is Bailey, and I'm going to be discussing policies to improve literacy rates in the United Arab Emirates. Their population is about 9.9 million. Their GDP per capita is about 43,000 US dollars. Women make around $61,000 a year, whereas men make 72,000, and women's starting salary is also about $1,000 less than that of men's. Their poverty rate is 19%, but this hasn't been updated in 17 years. In 2012, the average years of schooling was 8.9 years, but 99% of students complete primary and secondary education, and 95% of Year 12 students apply for higher education. Their incarceration rate is 104 per every 100,000, and their unemployment rate is 1.6. The UAE has one of the highest literacy rates in the Arab world, but they don't have their participation does not quite meet that. They also have lower reading levels than most other countries. The president of the UAE declared 2016 the year of reading and allocated $27 million to the National Literacy Strategy. The initiatives included adjusting curriculum to better fit students, improving libraries, developing new teacher training, and launching book clubs and reading events and contests. The biggest is the Arab Reading Challenge, where students complete 5 passport levels, each including 10 books over 7 months, and they can win money for themselves or their school. The government passed the national reading law to ensure that everyone reads a certain amount every year by giving newborn citizens books, putting books in public spaces, and promoting publication. In 2012, schooling was made compulsory for everyone between 6 and 18 years old and is provided for by the government. They have one main standardized test that is taken throughout the years, as well as other reading assessments. I have a quote here that sums up the goals from as well as the functions from the president, but they wanted to achieve 100% literacy and raise youth reading rates to 80%, and the purpose is to prepare students for the workplace and improve the economy. The first year of the ARC, 3 million students joined, and this past year, 21 million students joined from 52 countries. School enrollment has also increased, as well as literacy rates, since 2012, and test scores have gone up in some places. The literacy rate for youths in the UAE is 99%. Both the UAE and the United States have laws and policies in place for education, but the UAE has a specific literacy policy where the US has an overarching K through 12 education policy called the No Child Left Behind Act. Both countries enforce attendance, but the US has one more year, which is kindergarten, and that is required by 35 states. They both provide public education and allow private, but the US offers school choice, which is a voucher to go to any school. Um, but the UAE focuses more on improving the conditions of all schools. Both schools have standardized testing, but there is just one main one across the UAE, across all grade levels. But in the US, standardized testing differs by states, and private schools have their own, and then we have separate tests for universities and colleges. Education serves many necessary functions in our society, but the functionalist perspective tells us that it serves manifest and latent functions specifically. Education serves to educate and prepare children for this future, but it also serves a social, emotional, and authoritative purpose. The goals of the literacy strategy in the UAE were to educate the youth, make reading a common activity, and prepare students for the workforce, which are the main functions of education. But the strict government intervention may lead to some dangerous functions, such as tailored socialization or restrictions on certain readings. The National Reading Strategy includes policy initiatives by multiple ministries other than education. To ensure quality education and literacy skills, other institutions must be stable and able to provide shelter, healthcare, food, technology, and care to students. Education thrives when it receives support from other social structures and more educated citizens leads to greater productivity and innovation in the public and private sectors. So we can see how education and other sectors play off of each other. And lastly, these are my references. Thank you.